Hey everybody, it's Jason Blah here, and today I want to talk to you guys about the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act of 1994 and why this act being signed into the law in the United States has created the big mess that we have right now with the supplement industry really being a negative and a problem for all of us. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on scaling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. And this is one of the reasons, and people say, why does Jason get so much hate? This is one of the reasons. And people say, oh, it's because he's done this or that. It really isn't at the end of the day. You know what it comes down to? People in the supplement industry have paid really good money. Some of them admittedly have publicly admitted, like Layne Norton, that he spent over 6 figures ensuring I'm harassed. I want you to think about that. You can buy a lot of trolls and haters with $100,000. So let that sink in. He's admitted to that publicly. And that's just one of them. But this act, I want to read a bit of criticism by Steven Novella, who is a world-renowned neurologist and writer. This is what he said about this act when it was signed into law over 20 years ago. The deal that the DSHEA and the NCCAM made with the public was this: let the supplement industry have free rein to market untested products with unsupported claims, and then we'll fund reliable studies to arm the public with scientific information so they can make good decisions for themselves. This experiment, really just a gift to the supplement industry, has been a dismal failure. The result has been an explosion of the supplement industry flooding the marketplace with useless products and false claims. So essentially what happened here, so that you guys understand this and why you've all been duped, the supplement industry at that point, the agreement they made and was signed into law by Congress, is that the FDA doesn't regulate supplements anymore, other than just making sure what's on the ingredients list is what's in the product, and that they don't slip anything illegal into the product. Now, it's kind of interesting that they can't even follow those rules. Clearly, with the millions and millions of dollars supplement companies get fined, they can't even follow those rules. Let that sink in for a moment. The only rules they have to follow are what's on the labels, what has to be in the bottle, and they can't put any illegal drugs or toxic chemicals in there that have been determined to be dangerous to you and said that you can't give this to people. Or prescription drugs can't be put in there. All right, that's the only rules they have in place, and every single year these companies get busted for breaking the only rules they have to follow. Hey, don't put a bunch of steroids and amphetamines in your protein powder, and make sure what's on the labels, what's in the actual bottle. And they break it over and over and over. They don't even follow those rules. They don't care. That's the level of ethics you're dealing with an industry. But what he's saying here, this world-renowned neurologist, is that people got duped because he said, okay, that's fine. We're going to make it freedom. And I'm big on libertarianism, guys. I'm big on freedom. I'm big on Consumer Reports and other people stepping in and giving people good information so that they can make good, honest choices and minimal influence by big government into companies. I'm normally for that. But in this particular case, it failed. It failed to work. And do you know why? Because this industry has created such a massive marketing arm that there is no one else out there saying, guys, a lot of this stuff is dangerous. 99% of it is useless. It doesn't work. It won't help you. It might even hurt you as far as the results you want. And none of it's proven safe. How many of us are out here saying this? And look at what happens to those of us who do say this. It's failed because the public doesn't have access to the other side of the story. That was the way it was supposed to work. The companies can just put whatever they want in the bottle and sell it. And then, scientific studies could be done and put out. And then people can come out and say, hey, guys, you need to look at the data. This stuff, works or doesn't. And none of that happened. Because the industry itself has gained so much money and so much power that it's the only one telling its end of the story. They silence criticism. They silence criticism. You don't believe it? Here I am with a YouTube channel with 50 million views, by the way, today. One of the biggest outspoken people against this industry, and look how bad my name has been tarnished. There are even news articles being written about me, accusing me of stolen valor. There are people out there with articles claiming I'm a Klan member. Seriously, guys. That sort of stuff is out there. I'm one of the biggest critics of this industry. Almost no one speaks out against it. You wonder why? You wonder why people don't speak out against this horrifically evil industry? Look at what happened to me. Look at what happened to me. Dragged into court, sued, my name slandered. There is no other side. What this guy is saying is that, well, this didn't happen. The other side didn't get to speak. That's right, and we still don't get to speak. Because we've got an industry that makes $37 billion a year. Has grown. This was like $1 billion a year industry when they lobbied and got this signed in. Now they're a $37 billion a year industry. And they shut down their critics. And here's the thing. By law, I want you to understand this. Supplement companies since 1994 are not required under law to prove that their products work. In other words, they don't have to fund a single study proving anything that they sell you actually works. They don't have to produce a single study. They're also not required to provide any evidence that it's safe, that it won't cause cancer, that it won't kill you, that you can't die right now of an overdose of it. In other words, it's the FDA's job to prove after the fact, and they pull supplements all the time. And then the supplement industry and the bodybuilding magazines and everyone's screaming, look how evil they are. They restricted our supplement. They restricted us. They're the bad guys. This is in an industry that it's allowed to sell you basically rat poison, and until the FDA says, hey, that's rat poison in your product, you can't sell that to people, they don't have to stop selling it. They haven't even broken the law yet. They can give you something that will kill you, and as long as it hasn't been proven that it will kill you ahead of time, it's not illegal for the supplement industry to sell it to you. It's the FDA's job to come in after the fact and say, hey, that's not a safe product. You have to pull it off the shelves. You have 30 days to get it off the shelves. It's already killed 17 people. If you don't take it off the shelves, we're going to fine you $3 million. And how often have these companies left stuff on the shelf after the FDA told them to take it off the shelf and just ate the fines? That's happened a few times, hasn't it? Bodybuilding.com. This is what you're dealing with. You're dealing with an industry that is not required under law to prove that their products won't kill you. They can't put stuff in there that the FDA has already said, hey, you can't give this to people. And there are no repercussions to them legally as long as they comply. Oh, we have to pull it off the shelf. Yes, sir, we'll pull it off the shelf. Then they have no fines, no penalties at all. Let that sink in. You are buying products in an industry that has not required to spend a single penny proving that their product won't kill you. And they don't have to pull it off the shelf until the FDA says, hey, you have 30 days to pull this product off the shelf. It's killing people. It's deadly. This has got something in it that causes brain cancer. You have 30 days to get it off the shelf, and as long as they pull it within 30 days, no penalty. It's an unregulated industry, and that's the thing. Even though it has only a couple of regulations in place, this industry gets popped all the time for breaking the very, very few laws they have in place. And those laws don't include not selling you something that'll kill you. They only have to get the label right. They only have to not put a prescription drug or a banned substance into the product. That's all they actually have to do. And they don't even bother to do that. How many times have anabolic steroids or amphetamines or anything else been found in an over-the-counter product that wasn't supposed to have them in it? All the time. They eat the fines. Why? Because it's a $37 billion a year industry. Who gives a shit about a couple $1 million? Who cares if 1,000 of their customers die? They don't care. They'll keep making more money because people will keep buying this crap. You know, and everyone talks about Big Pharma. Oh, they're evil. They kill so many people with all these drugs. Yeah, at least they're required to test the drugs to see how many people they're going to kill first. That information is available. They have to do studies on it. They actually have to produce a study that shows, yeah, 1% of people who take this drug die. But that's only if they have this pre-existing condition, and then they get it passed in. The supplement industry doesn't have to do that. So you don't actually know what your risks are. And that's the other big thing. The FDA and the medical community is overwhelmed because so many new supplements are introduced. They can't even keep up with the complications, meaning they don't know the counterindications. People die, and there are plenty of documented cases of people dying because their over-the-counter supplement that they bought interfered with a medication they were given in the emergency room. Because you had an accident or you got sick and you go to the hospital, they give you a prescription and it kills you because it interacts with the supplement you were taking, and you didn't tell them what supplement you were on, or it hadn't been studied yet, and they didn't know that if you take this herbal supplement and are given this drug, you have a heart attack. They find out after the first person dies in the ER from it, because you're taking substances that have never been tested. At least with drugs, you know what they do. There's at least human studies, so you know what your risks are. You know what the probability is that that drug will kill you if you go research it. You have no way to determine that. And look how many big supplements get marketed and make millions and millions of dollars. Then we find out after the fact they don't even do anything, and they might do the opposite. How about branched chain amino acids? Look how big it got marketed. I got sued over that one. I have been sued because of that one. Meta-analysis came out last month that showed it doesn't help you. That supplementing with branched chain amino acids, even through an IV being put directly in the bloodstream, doesn't do anything for improved muscle protein synthesis. And in fact, they found that it had reduced net turnover in at least 2 of the studies. In other words, adding it in by itself, not as part of a complete food or complete protein, had reduced total protein synthesis. That means you gain less muscle. By the way, for those who are not curious what that actually means, you might gain slightly less muscle. That's what it means. It might actually hurt your gains. We know that supplementing vitamin C right after you work out also hurts your gains. It reduces muscle gains. It reduces endurance gains from endurance work. How many of these things have been pimped? How many people out there take all this stuff? They're spending money on products that actually sometimes do the opposite, because these companies aren't required to prove it. And they're not required to prove that it's safe, and they're not required to prove that it won't kill you. And the medical doctors, because there's so many of them, can't even keep up with it. They don't even know which supplements will kill you if they give you the wrong drug with it. People take this crap. And then they want to talk about big pharma and big medicine being bad. Why aren't we talking about big protein? Why aren't we talking about big supplement? $37 billion a year industry without restrictions in place. It has almost no restrictions. And the only ones it has, it routinely breaks and just pays the fines. And it's taken over this fitness industry to the point to where anyone who is in the fitness industry almost has to pimp these products to survive. And if you're not pimping these products, you become an outsider. You become an outcast in the actual community, because the industry owns fitness now. Companies that produce products that they don't have to prove don't kill you, and they don't have to prove actually do anything, now owns the fitness community. And when you speak out against this, they come at you personally. They destroy your reputation. In other words, there is no dissonant voice. None. They silence you. The supplement industry is an evil, parasitic industry that is harming the fitness community, and they harm anyone who tries to stop them from doing it. Anyone who even tries to warn you. They destroy them. And all because they lobbied and got this law passed in 1994 that allowed them to make so much extra money and have so much power that they have been able to expand to the point to where they own the entire fitness community. The supplement industry has become synonymous with the fitness industry and the fitness world. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.